and a warm welcome to another edition of To The Point. Environmental governance has always been a challenge in a developing country like India, but many feel that things could be much better if the man sitting in the driver's seat of the Environment Ministry is an environment activist himself. Well, joining me now is a newly inducted Union Minister for Environment, Anil Madhav, whose threefold mantra of life on his Twitter handle, which says it's sun, energy and cycle. I welcome Mr. Anil Kumar Dave onto the point.
Namaskar.
Let me begin by asking you a very obvious question, Mr. Dave, that from leading the life of a protester, an activist, and now that you are on the other side of the border, do things really look easy or they are more difficult?
I think this is the wrong definition of activist.
Okay.
Activist does not mean who always protest, who always disagree, who always say this is wrong, this is wrong. Activism means, real term, Gandhi is activist.
Okay.
Gandhi is the real activist. Savarkar, Lohia, Subhash Chandra Bose, real activist. Present the generation which we find as an activist.
They don't have a cause to fight, you mean to say.
And more or less, whatever you do, but don't be negative.
Okay.
That is
so
the
you have
primary.
been a positive activist, which means?
Yes.
All throughout your life?
No, I am just moving and walking behind Gandhi because I feel that activism should be always there in the life.
But in that course of time, during that journey, have you ever been against the establishment?
Disagreement, yes.
Okay.
Differ with the opinion, yes.
But would you enjoy that liberty now of disagreeing, now that you're part of the Prime Minister Modi's cabinet?
Yes. If anything which is against nation, if anything which is against the right thing, I will protest. I will say, yes, this is not good.
Okay.
One should do this.
That's being
but
very...
one thing is very sure, that what I had said, the meaning of activism, negative activism, and all the time you look to that man, he will always, you will always find him negative, personality, these, that. Positive activism will always have a bright thing without any makeup.
And that is something which is missing. But in fact, I want to go on to my next question, Mr. Dave, now. No environment minister in the last 10 years has completed its term in this country. What do you think is the biggest reason? Is it because it has been a highly politicized ministry? What do you think is the real reason why no environment minister has been able to complete its term?
I think you count term as a 5-year term.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in politics, so many reasons are there. But one thing is very sure. Nowadays, this ministry and particularly the subject environment, it has become more glamorous than any film person, male or a female.
So you will fit the best now in this glamorous ministry, you say?
Now, I am the village man in this glamorous world. So, because it is hot subject at international level, right. Climate change. Each and everyone is talking on that. Then when come to India, then it becomes environment. Each and everyone from...
so you do admit the fact that it is a highly politicized ministry at the moment, right?
Politicize, instead of saying politicize, I would like to say it is more concerned with the society, more concerned with each and every aspects of public life. But
let me now bring you closer to the more realistic picture on the ground, and that is because the mucky politics and the economics of the GDP growth have always prevailed upon this ministry and has forced the environment minister to go away from the issues of life, livelihood, environment conservation. Do you believe that you can make some difference now that you are the environment minister?
I think if being a minister, anything is badly needed in the individual one, and I will try to stand, and I would like to prove that. Just keep balance. Just have a right approach. Don't be prejudiced to anything. Don't think that someone is coming to you, it means he is a wrong man.
But I think it's easier said than done.
No,
From
you will.
Veerappa Moily to to the tenure of Mr. Javadekar, we have seen that this balancing act has been very difficult between the interests of the industry and the interests of the environmentalists.
It's a true balance is always difficult, and but whosoever has done previously running this ministry, they have done their best, and I will also try to do that, and I'm sure I will be able to deliver in the right direction.
People really want to hear you on the way environmental governance has taken place all these years, particularly during the NDA rule in the last 2.5 years. And people really want to hear the activist Mr. Dave as to what he feels on various issues, how NDA has gone about things. Now, for example, let me begin with point number one. Now, Mr. Javadekar, no offense meant to him, but he has taken some very revolutionary steps like setting up the single window system for forest clearances, then the online system for forest and the wildlife clearances. That has been really revolutionary. Then he's given decentralization a major push. And he did get appreciation for the fact that the industries were no more a drag on the environment ministry. But at the same time, the ministry got a lot of flack also, that they have furthered the interests of the industries and the environmental concerns have been bypassed. How would you really look at it?
I don't think so. Whatever he has done the best. He has decentralized the power, decision-making process, single window system. All these things are, it goes to his, all these things goes to his credit. But only one thing which, again I will repeat the same thing. If you want to do something, stand balanced, think which is the best thing and do it. That is enough. You do not have to be expert, you do not have to be a very intelligent man or a man of different qualities. Just don't be prejudiced, don't block your mind, stand still and think, and whatever you feel right, do it. Because your heart never say wrong. Your brain all the time judging this thing, that thing, kya milega, kya nahi milega, and then if you will follow brain, you are bound to be collide.
Can I take the liberty of dividing the NDA environmental rule in two phases now? Now, when NDA came to power in 2014, we had the predecessors like Veerappa Moily, Jayanti Natarajan, the way they governed the environment ministry. Whole lot of allegations on Jairam Ramesh, not to forget that. Jayanti tax and all those kind of allegations were there. Javadekar ji did his best to further the cause. At least he made an effort as to not to put roadblocks for the industry, and he did that. But he earned wrath also from the environmentalists, saying that he has furthered the interest of the industries. How do you bring about that balancing act now? Giving an example of the way concessions have been given, laws have been bypassed. Do you feel that the regulations have just been reduced to a mere formality in the last two years?
No, I don't think that it is time to look back. This is time to look ahead, because whatever has happened. Now it is history. Only dissection will not lead us anywhere. Right. The man and the team, whatever they did their level best. And it is always there, whatever good you do or whatever bad you do, good will be always there in the bad and bad will be always there in the good.
Your future road will always be judged against what your predecessor has done. He has taken certain measures. Are you going to continue with them? Are you going to junk out those steps? That's a very natural question everybody is going to ask you.
Government is a continuous process. You one fine morning, no one will come and make the 180-degree turn. But yes, there are many factors. For example, this British forest law, it needs not only to revive, absolutely new law we require, because after 100 years, lots of changes are there in the society, in the forest, society who is dealing with the forest. So now we need a new law.
You need a new law, which means the law has to be amended. It's very clear.
No.
But
no amendment.
Okay, you're saying no amendment.
Dismantle it and bring new one.
Okay, so right from the scratch, you
Yeah.
completely dismantle it.
Yeah.
So how do you go about things when people say that the people's participation has been bypassed, people's voices have not been heard? Giving you the example of where the Adani group's project was given a go-ahead in Chhattisgarh, people's voices were not heard, public hearings have been bypassed. You as an activist, you also know the importance of public hearings, how important they are. But there have been allegations that public hearings were a complete miss during last 2 years, specifically talking about that project in Chhattisgarh.
I don't think, and particularly if you are talking about the particular project, I will have to look into that, because just on the comments, I can't say that they haven't had a public hearing, and big shots will be always there in the business, whether it is Adani or
how do you really
Reliance.
counter these big shots?
You see, when we will formulate the new law, the way it will have a consultation across the country with the grassroots level to the experts, then only after that we will be able to say something, no consultation.
When you talk about amending the law, there are 5-6 set of laws which are governing environment.
Again, I would like to not to use the word amend.
Yeah.
I would like to say make it new one.
So make a new one means, are you hinting at the fact that you're going to amalgamate all the laws and make it into one law which deals with wildlife, which deals with environment, which deals with pollution? Is it going to be something like that?
No, we will go for the consultation. I will ask the society, I will ask the people, I will ask the forest dwellers, I will go into the deep forest and I will ask the scheduled tribes people, what type of a law do you require for the forest? They are the stakeholders, they are the real owner.
Is this the one step which you are hinting is going to be very different from what Mr. Javadekar did?
No, I always believe this thing.
No, you said that you were going to consult the forest dwellers.
Yes.
But in the last 2.5 years, we have not seen so much of consultation happening with the forest dwellers. In fact, the entire opposition is going to launch a nationwide strike on the way how people's voices have been suppressed in the tribal areas.
Here I would like to say that if you want to do something good, something new, always respect your predecessors, always respect your past.
No offense meant to the predecessor.
What will happen? Otherwise, you will not be able to do something new. You will be all the time, dissection will be there to the past, this, that. Time has gone. Yesterday is yesterday. It is today, and let us look to tomorrow so that we can build a better tomorrow. Otherwise, we will be always engaged in the yesterday and day before.
So I can give you small examples, why people are saying that the regulations have been diluted, clearances have been, the focus has been more on giving clearances to the industries. Now, for example, the wildlife habitats, clearances have been given in wildlife habitats. The percentage of clearance and has been 11.9. The rejections, the percentage of the rejection has been 11.9 during the UPA rule, and during the NDA rule, the rejection rate has just been 0.01. What is the biggest reason for that?
I think cess was not there during last 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was clear.
You are hinting at the environmental cess.
No, all type of cess.
Swachh Bharat, A, B, C, something like that?
Oh, that whatever you want to understand.
Okay.
Exactly, who is saying that norms are not properly tackled? Again,
the green activists.
Activists.
Right.
Activists are not judge. Eventually, who is judge? 125 करोड़ लोग जज हैं. मुट्ठी भर मुंबई में, दिल्ली में, चेन्नई में रहने वाले एक्टिविस्ट इस देश के मालिक नहीं हैं. और ये जो 4 बड़े शहर हैं, ये हिंदुस्तान नहीं है. हिंदुस्तान 5.5 लाख गाँव में बसता है.
Fair enough, Mr. Dave, you have a point in what you're saying, but the point is that how do you see the image of the government when, for example, there are efforts by the government to cripple the funding of organizations like Greenpeace, INSAF? How do you see? I mean, that's a move which has been taken by the government in conjunction with the Prime Minister's decision. How do you see it?
Certainly, if
is
there
that
is
not a
information.
move to muffle the voices
No.
of the activists, choking the funds?
No. There are 2 types of activists.
Okay.
One who is there in the remote area, you come with me sometime to Chhattisgarh. One couple working in the field of leprosy for last 40 years. No press note, no release, no hangy-pangy,
Right.
no crisis. Second one, anything goes wrong in any part of the country, whosoever has done wrong to parliament, he took the AK-47 in the parliament, wants to kill member of parliament. And if you want to hang that man, the activist will come forward, Mombati jalaenge, or they will say this is
What
wrong,
will
that
be your
is wrong.
benchmark on which you're going to judge an activist, whether he's positive or negative? What is that one cornerstone by which you will really judge that this activist is negative or positive?
Do act at the field, and the people, those who are benefited, when they will say, no one has helped us, we have stand now on our feet, he is the right activist. माँ बच्चे को जन्म देने के बाद बच्चे पे अपने प्रिंट नहीं छोड़ती है, मटका बनाने के बाद कुम्हार मटके पे अपने फिंगरप्रिंट्स नहीं छोड़ता है. जो सही एक्टिविस्ट होता है ना, जब वो किसी चीज़ को डेवलप कर देता है, किसी इलाके को, किसी गांव को, अन्ना हजारे अपने इम्प्रेशन रालेगण सिंधी में नहीं छोड़ता है. ये रियल एक्टिविस्ट है.
लेकिन
बाकी एक्टिविस्ट तो पर्चे वर्चे छापते रहते हैं, लगाते रहते हैं.
लेकिन मिस्टर दवे, एक जो एक क्रिटिसिज्म आता है वो ये भी है कि अगर एनवायरनमेंट मिनिस्ट्री क्या इन्वेस्टर फ्रेंडली हो सकती है? कैन द एनवायरनमेंट मिनिस्ट्री रियली बी इन्वेस्टर फ्रेंडली?
It can be friendly to each and every society, each and every section of the life. वो environment and development, they are two wheels of one vehicle, and they are equal, and we will have to see both are running. Well, at the same time, when we will go to the
इसी
forest,
बैलेंसिंग एक्ट में बहुत सारे एनवायरनमेंट मंत्रियों की नौकरी भी चली गई है, उनको हटा दिया गया था.
जाती रहेगी. बैलेंस करना इतना आसान भी नहीं है, और ये तो भगवान जानता होगा या वो खुद जानते होंगे कि नौकरी क्यों गई. बाकी अपने को क्या मालूम क्यों गई. लेकिन मेरा अभी भी मत है, आप सही करिए, सही करने को स्टैंड करिए, और अगर आप स्टैंड कर रहे हैं और सही के साथ स्टैंड कर रहे हैं तो थर्ड फोर्स आपके साथ हमेशा रहती है.
Okay, coming to a different view altogether now, I want to speak to you on climate change negotiations, the way India has negotiated on climate change. Many say that when it went to climate change summits like what happened in Paris, India has put out many concessions, vis-a-vis the developed nations. Still, things like source, the finance, distribution, all these things are yet unresolved. As an environment minister now, again, you will be in future also attending summits like these. What is your roadmap on climate change negotiations? If I were to ask you in one sentence, how would you really carry forward this process?
I think sustainable goals and INDC.
Okay.
In this area, India is doing very good.
Okay.
Because in Paris, we said that 2005 will be our benchmark for all the world country.
Right.
And we will assess, this is our goal for 2020, and from 2020 to 2035. We are quite comfortably will be reaching to the goal, because we are at as much power, as much carbon emission reduction we were expected to do, we are 5% ahead from that. So from India point of view, it's okay. I'm much worried about the Western world.
Okay.
Because if you will not have a disciplined consumption, if you have an undisciplined consumption, then whatever amount of energy you produce, whatever amount of water you bring out your overhead tanks, it will be always, scarcity will be there.
But Mr. David, despite all your satisfaction with the way India has flexed its muscles on summits like these, there is a perception that India cannot pull its weight, while negotiating on tables like these. What do you think is the reason? Because many say that, in countries like UK, Brazil, even smaller countries like Singapore, they parade their specialist delegations, the lawyers, the communication specialists, the scientists, the climate scientists. But India has a dearth of it. And that is the reason probably that India is not able to pull its weight. Do you agree with this perception?
No, India did it level best in Paris. The way Prime Minister has delivered and accepted by the rest of the world, we gathered 122 countries, solar countries. First time probably
You're talking about the International Solar Alliance.
Yes, Solar Alliance. It was our initiative.
Right.
We bring them at one platform. We said our problems is common, our achievements are common, let us attempt in the right direction. There are some achievements and there are some drawbacks. Drawbacks means weaknesses.
So you do admit the fact that this is a weakness because you don't have too many specialists to negotiate at the table?
No, our experts are always there.
But just a few.
That is all depend on the contingent of the country.
Because I remember when this Paris meet was happening, there was a joke which was doing the rounds, and it said that it's almost like Virat Kohli with a handful of all-rounders in the cricket team, and then the rest of the team is pieced together just before the World Cup. So
and critics have a right to say all these things. But here I agree with you on one point. Particularly on our education campuses, and that to higher education, IIT, IITians, IM, we are not too concerned with the climate change.
okay.
And the expertise, the inclination, and the research work which our young guys are supposed to do,
Okay.
we are not able to pull them.
So we'll ask this question to Mr. Javadekar when I'm interviewing him as to why this is happening. But my question to you now, sir, is that there are a lot of concessions on which again the Environment Ministry has been criticized. And that is, for example, the environment impact assessment has not been given a very serious concern. There has been a weakening of the environment impact assessment. What is the reason for that?
No, I don't think there is any weakening in the environment assessment because we are...
For example, bypassing the no development zone, along the coastal areas.
CRZ.
That was one example.
Yeah. CRZ.
Yeah.
No, we are looking into that, and moreover that within a few months you will find that there will be a few more steps will be there which will develop the shore area, seashore, and at the same time preservation of particularly tortoise and then all different types of fishes and maritime some heritage sites.
Right.
They will be preserved and they will become the destination for the tourist.
You just named a few animals. That again reminds me to a question which I think I should be asking you, and that is when Mr. Javadekar was the Environment Minister, he declared certain species as vermins, which gave a go-ahead for killing and culling these animals like wild boars, the blue bulls, the nilgais, the monkeys. Do you think that this is a solution to the man-animal conflict?
No. The change in the shift from clause 3 to clause 5,
Okay.
it gives right to farmer that if you find that nilgai is there in your field and creating a damage, you have a right to pick a stone and throw.
Okay.
You have a right to hold a stick and attack.
Okay.
In this process,
But hitting with a stick and killing it with a gun?
If in this process that animal dies, then that farmer, because those who are talking of all these things, they are having a 40,000 rupees 5-star dinner. Their capacity is there. But when you go to the farmer, they have a 2-acre land. So
classification of the species into vermins, you think, has been misinterpreted, right?
No, I am yet not complete. 2 acres farmer whose complete 365 days food, entertainment, marriage, daughter's marriage, boys' education, that is coming from that 2 acre. And you are saying that if nilgai comes, don't attack. You have no right to do though.
Okay.
1%, 2%, 3% fall in the salary and people start saying anything. But Because he does not have a voice in Delhi. That's why we are talking all these things. We have given a right to him.
Okay.
Bhai, if you are having something, if terrorist is behind you, you have a full right to save yourself.
I have spoken to you, Mr. Dave, on all the issues, how industries have been given clearances, environment impact assessments, dilution of environmental laws. So if I talk about a certain quintessence of the last 2 years, the way NDA government has performed on the environment governance front. So you are saying that the laws have not been diluted, and the way the clearances have been given to the industry, do you think there's a cause of worry?
As per the norms.
As per the norms.
Have given
so they have been given according to the norms.
Whatever they did the best.
Okay. So you don't have anything to say. Now you have a new roadmap ahead.
Yeah, certainly.
And you are saying that all new laws will be coming in now. You will dismantle?
Not all new law. I am talking about the forest.
The forest laws.
Because forest it is a British law.
Okay.
Because 15th August 1947.
So how soon can we expect this new forest law?
15th August 1947.
Right.
We become independent.
Right.
But when you will look to the structure, IPC, forest laws, they are British laws.
So how soon can we expect this new forest law?
It will take time because a wide range of consultation will be there.
Okay.
And certainly, but
will you be able to do it in your term? I mean, by 2019?
I know that my term will be there up to today's evening. I don't know tomorrow what will happen.
Okay.
So,
I have to wind up the show, sir. You're being very candid. I'm going to ask you one last question before we wind up the show. And that is, now with the kind of pressure under which Mr. Anil Madhav Dave is going to be, are you really going to have the time to cycle up to your office the way you have been doing it?
I cycle, I fly, I'm pilot. Whenever I get opportunity, I take my Cessna 173, go around here and there. And I love Narmada. So whenever I get time, because she is the most beautiful river in the world, so I go there also, and I hope that much time I will always have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dave, for coming up to the point. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.